Hello, my name is Hassan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast shorts. There's no co-host on these shorts episodes. These are now around 2 to 4 minute, sometimes as long as 6 to 10 minute observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and even the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now around 2 to 4 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even that business book your coworker won't stop raving about because it quote-unquote changed their life, but you can't see any difference in their leadership behavior. So how good could that author be? Wars, conflicts, fights, disputes, and disagreements happen for both stated and unstated reasons. The book of James in the Bible has this to say, "From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence even of your lusts that war in your members? Ye lust, and ye have not. Ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because you ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lusts." James 4, 1-4. Human beings, driven by envy, jealousy, lust, and much, much more, commit crimes in the heart long before they manifest externally in the form of conflicts with others. And then when those lusts are not satiated, as they can never truly be, people escalate, which causes an escalation in response, and soon an entire nation state can be engulfed in flames. Leaders are people, just like any other people. Just because they rule over a nation, a tribe, or even a family or a community does not mean that they will be made better in handling their impulses than those who rule far smaller satraps. And because leaders are people, and people are led by their passions and lusts inevitably into wars, fights, disputes, conflicts, and disagreements, they must be prepared by being sober-minded and refraining from rushing into conflict. Theology used to be the anchor for how people understood human behaviors in a fallen world, and history used to be the ship that tugged people through the waters of conflict. Christian theology teaches that man is fallen due to the ravages of original sin, and history, at least history taught before the beginning of the 19th century in the West, taught that man will sin repeatedly in ever more decadent cycles if circumstances and outcomes don't serve to discipline him. Leaders, be self-aware enough in your heart to recognize those impulses that are driving you to war, and be sober-minded and refrain from rushing into conflict. And well, that's it for me. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast today. And now that you've made it this far, you should subscribe to the audio version of this show on all the major podcast players, including Apple iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, and everywhere else where podcasts are available. There's also a video version of our podcast on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the video version of this podcast on the Leadership Toolbox channel on YouTube. Just search for Leadership Toolbox and hit the subscribe button there on YouTube. And while you're doing that, leave a 5-star review if you like what we're doing here on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Just go below the player and hit 5 stars. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to help grow this show. And tell all your friends, of course, in leadership. By the way, if you don't like what we're doing here, well, you can always listen to another leadership show. There are several other good ones out there. At least that's what I've heard. All right. Well, that's it for me.